AfterBuzzers and iZombie fans. I'm not crying, you're crying, because this episode had me all in my feels, as I know our whole panel felt the same way. We can't wait to discuss and let you know how we're feeling about Levon leaving us this episode. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss all of our thoughts. We can't wait to discuss.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Uh-huh. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Shout it out. I'm already dead. Yeah. I am already dead.
Damn, that's gonna be the last time we do that.
For a minute.
Oh my gosh, guys. Welcome back. I have almost no words. I had just finished watching the show, and I literally am like, I need some time. Like, I'm not quite ready. I'm not there yet. I mean, I had tears. It was a lot. But before we go into it, let's introduce our panel for the last time of the season. Shawnteairra, what's going on?
I'm not ready.
She ain't ready.
I ain't ready.
Drew Jones.
What's up? I've been thinking about my predictions would make sense if this was the final for good season, but seeing as they're renewing it, it makes sense how it ended.
Nakia Monet, the psychic.
Right.
Like, literally.
Guys, it's Nakia Monet, and I told my panel what was going to happen.
She did.
That's only because I watch way too much TV.
Hey guys, Ally Nasta here. Dilly dilly. Let's get into it. Do you know that's, I guess in a Bud Light commercial is dilly dilly, and because it like brings back, and Donnie said it this episode, and I just think it's fun to say. I'm gonna start saying dilly dilly. Overall thoughts besides the fact that we're really emotionally drained right now.
Thank God Chase Graves is gone. I'm over him. Thank God.
Yes, justice.
It's stressful. I felt like I knew this was coming, but it's still one of those things where a lot of TV, they make you fall in love with so many people, and then they just rip your heart out. And we were feeling the ship between the Live On ship, and I don't like it.
I'm upset that he's gone, but I will say, watching it, knowing that they thought this was going to be their series finale, it makes sense how it ended.
Yeah. Right. I totally agree, Drew, and I'm so glad you bring that up, because if this were to end, nobody knew until only a couple weeks ago that they were going to get renewed, which if you guys are familiar with the writing process, this happened. They filmed this months ago. They didn't have any idea. So if you want to make sure that the fans of a show like this get they need, you have to kind of tie it up some way.
Yeah.
And I think in that regard, they did do a good job. Although I'm not justifying the fact that they let go of Levon like that. I think they could have maybe caught it in time.
His death wasn't enough for me.
No,
like it wasn't
justifying it for anything. Here he is. He's been this wonderful, loving, patient, amazing guy for Liv. And obviously she's had plenty of these guys so far.
Yeah.
And every
He's
time,
been the best.
He's in the best. And what's hurtful is that, like you were just saying, Nakia, we fell in love with him, and then he was ripped away, and we didn't even get to say goodbye. Like, I was not ready.
He was like, his head was smashed literally mid-sentence. I'm like, he didn't even give a chance to finish.
But that makes good TV, though, because I'm not going to lie. Like, though it's cute to see them together, but it's like, okay, they're cute. They got married. No, I want to see... I love the ship. Don't get me wrong. Sorry. But for TV purposes, I love to see the drama behind it, and we lost him. We lost Angus. We lost Chase. So I feel like the way they went out was the way that it was supposed to go out. You know, it's like the crew who started together are back together.
Yeah.
I know. That Drew's is distraught.
I just hope she finds true love. I mean,
dude,
I hope so. I do too.
Because you heard her name all the guys that she's lost. I'm like Liv and...
That was a crush this whole. I'm still not over half of these men leaving her so quickly because I think I was attached to the fact that, like, we all know how it is being single in LA. It's hard, even though she's in Seattle, and it just like you kind of grow attachment to Liv and her experiences, and she finally meets a nice guy, and he's the one that she likes, and they are meant to be, and then all of a sudden they get killed.
Well, you know what's interesting about all of this is that they thought this was their series finale, and she didn't end up with Major.
Nope.
And so I really hope they keep that energy into the next season.
But this is my thing. Maybe they wanted to do that to leave it up to your imagination that they might get together.
Because I don't see a Major and Liv. Like, I don't see if they don't get together next season. I see one of those things where they're working on getting together. Like I don't see the separation of Major and Liv.
And I'm okay with that. I just don't want them. I think it has to. I don't think a season's going to give us enough time for him to undo seasons worth of him kind of being a little, you know.
I think possibly only because now that he's in charge of Fillmore Graves, do you think that maybe he might? I mean, obviously he's working with Liv. So I think that
do the right thing.
Yeah, of course.
And remember,
So
everything that he did bad was, as you would say, for Liv.
Yeah.
It's not like he woke up like Blaine and was like, I hate everybody.
And this is, you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it in terms of, like, of a writer's perspective and showing you a true arc of a character, that is a perfect example of Major. He literally started from one way, being like the perfect example of a boyfriend, struggled, went through some bad patches, you know, freaked out a little bit, and was trying to save Liv, do everything for Liv, and he goes, you know, he did a full up and down.
Yeah.
And so now it would
your
make
fiance
sense.
breaks up with you for no reason, and you're like, wait, what's wrong? Like, you're dissing me. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you're a zombie.
Like,
all right.
And listen, I love Major because I know people in the chat and people online are like, you hate Major. I don't. I love Major. I just think that it would be more satisfying if they don't tie everything up in a perfect, neat little bow. And I think that's one of those things. Liv is such a strong character on her own. And, like, I don't want the Major and Liv thing to be the biggest thing that viewers take out of Liv as a character as a whole. So I kind of like it not being...
That's a great point, Drew.
But we also saw what's his name? Justin. Yes, he's back. So now I'm thinking, okay, because he dated Liv for a little bit.
Because I don't see this show ending with Liv just being single. No, not because she should be, but I think because they keep introducing all these new guys, and I think like I do see her with someone at the end of the series. I don't know who, but I don't see her either her working it out.
Who I wanted her to be.
And you know what kind of makes sense? You know, now we don't have everybody else's relationships are tied up. Because we've got Ravi and Peyton, and we've got Clive and Dale. And so then that does leave Liv, who's the only one in the group, to kind of be on her own. But then that kind of makes your point, Drew, to where it would show that she can do this on her own. She doesn't need a guy. And, you know, the struggle of her relationship so far has showed that, like, you know, she's been able to be where she is today. So maybe, Drew, that could be a good prediction.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it just because, like, there's so many, and not to be, like, on the feminist pedestal or whatever, but there's so many shows that are male-centered where they have so many romantic storylines, but at the end of the day, they kind of just ride off into the sunset on their own, and it's considered empowering. Why not? I think it would be a cool ending for her.
But then I think, to play devil's advocate, there are I do agree with that, but then I think there's also strong independent feminist women who have relationships, whether it be a woman or a man. So I think it is cool to show that side as well. Like, she can also do. That's why I said, like, I don't see her particularly like they're gonna get married. I see it either like Drake might randomly pop back up from the dead,
if he did,
or her and Major go on a date
happy.
to get to know each other.
See, and I would be okay with that. I'm just saying, like, I don't really want to see her in this super committed. I don't want to see like the last episode of iZombie be everyone with their couples and be like, isn't it great that we're all in love, and then like them cheers to it.
Listen,
but
it's
CW, so I wouldn't necessarily be surprised.
It's so predictable. It's like,
it's so crazy. I was
gonna say I definitely hear where Drew's coming from, and I kind of agree. Now, at first I was like, I wanted to end with Major and Liv together. I do want to see her just being like a badass by herself. Yeah. And then maybe like the end, it's like tying them into each other, but not making it the show so focused on their relationship, because I'm over it.
You know who did a perfect job of that? Speaking of CW, The Vampire Diaries did that with Bonnie, the character. They killed off her boo, and she, like, kind of has this empowering moment, but he's, like, still alongside her in a sense because he's dead. He's a ghost, so. But, like, the love thing is still there. I'd be cool if, like, Liv, you know, like, it ends with, like, Liv and Major. Maybe the end of it is, like, the very last scene is, like, Liv and Major 5 years down the road going on a date.
That's just what
I'd be so cool with
that's
that.
what I see, and
but
not
like,
because I want it, but because TV's so damn predictable.
Right.
And well, that's my prediction.
And that's the thing too, is that like we're only predicting like what we think the storyline could go from here. You know, it's not things that we would like want or know. We have no idea. We're just like, this is what I think is going to happen based off of the trajectory of the show this far. This is what I think is going to be the progress.
They might shake it all up.
Right.
Shoot.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Right. I'm sure they will, because honestly, at the end of this episode, I really was thinking, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Sad, man.
Which is nice because it's nice to know that had this been the last season, we would have had a satisfying end.
Yeah.
Because that was really satisfying to watch.
It was just a little. I was very emotional and crying, but then I would stop and I was shocked and it was rough.
When she was saying goodbye to Clive and Robbie and Peyton, I was sitting in my living room like bawling, and my cat walked up like, "What is going on?"
I'm speechless right now. I'm like, my jaw's dropped because I felt the same way.
Such a good
Especially when Peyton was like, when they talked about changing the times, and Peyton was like, no.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, oh my God.
I didn't think I was going to get as emotional as I did. And I was watching this like, wow, why am I getting goosebumps? Like, because like, if you've been watching the show, if this is the last, what are we on, season 4 or season 5?
Season 4.
Season 4, you've grown to love these people. So now you're attached. It's like you know them as well. It's like you're there getting ready to witness Levon and Liv lose their lives. Like,
and I think it shows the strength of Liv and Peyton's relationship, because even though she was, I feel like in the beginning of the seasons, like they were super, because I still think that they are, but I think to really see her in character was super sad for me. Because seeing her face when standing there, like seeing her cry, I was like, it hit me. Because I was like, okay, I knew she wasn't going to die, but I'm like, something's going to happen.
Yeah, I was so nervous because I didn't know what exactly was going to happen. And I think that Levon's death was a little sad and fast paced. Yeah. And that whole section was a little, it was just too much, I think, for that, what I needed. I don't know. I don't even know what I wanted, because there's
their last like conversation, if that's what you want to call it, like it was wild because they said so little, but it was so heavy, and like I don't think I realized how much they loved each other until that scene, and I was like, dang.
That was tough, and they're like, oh, I don't know if the writers were like, let's just end this really quickly. I'm like, wait, whoa!
Yeah,
it's like he was getting
that's
ready to
when I
say
think
something.
I'm legitimately like, you know, like that meme sips tea. I'm pretty sure I was drinking water, and I was like,
oh my God.
I kind of caught on to it when he was willing to like take down Chase Grace for her. I mean, I feel like I've seen how close they've gotten, but when he did that, when he turned himself in for her, I was like, he's like,
that's real love. Somebody
I think I peeped that he loved her that much. I wasn't. Not that I don't think she didn't love him. I think she did, but I don't think I realized how deep it went, because I don't think I've seen her that emotional about someone besides maybe Major.
right.
But I think it's a completely different thing, because their love was already built on so much risk, because from the get-go they went into things like heavy, you know, with her
Like
being
scratching.
renegade.
Yeah, I get it.
So it was just like, it was beautiful and really sad, and I'm not over it.
I know. I don't think
I
we
have
would be.
to. I have to mention something, because you said quick deaths. Not to just switch up, but Angus, I was so confused. I remember my prediction
I knew
was
that was gonna happen.
See, you called it, but I honestly thought that him and Blaine were gonna get into. I just thought it was gonna be bigger. The fact that the way he died, it was just so quick to me.
Right.
I was just expecting to be a
Jim
little bit more
Jones.
drawn out, but it makes me really excited about next season. And I'm wondering, okay, how are they gonna tie all this in?
Right.
Because I really thought Angus would be around, but this whole thing with him believing in God and really believing God was speaking to him, and the way he kind of ended things with Blaine, it was just, I don't know, it was kind of shocking. I wanted to see more there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think we definitely needed more of that. But you know, it was not very inspirational, but we have things that could possibly be very inspirational.
Yes, if you want to be inspired, have fun, learn and grow in all areas of your life, we've got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, and drops every Friday on iTunes. Guys, that's in 2 days, so get ready. It covers everything from health and wellness, career, finances, relationships, and more. Maria literally is going to tell you everything you need to know about basically everything. So just head over to iTunes, subscribe. It's free.
We love free now.
We love
go
free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let her know that it was the iZombie girls. Ooh, I like that. iZombie girls. That sent you over there. Remember, drops every Friday. It's free. Will change your life. That's all you really need to know. So check it out.
Yes. Facts. Well, people that need inspiration and need lessons learned was this whole Blaine and his dad situation. So let's definitely dive in all the way now. So like you were just saying, it was really weird because we had this huge, it was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Because you've been waiting for this whole, I guess,
the war type thing?
the war, whatever they were doing. You wanted it to be kind of this thing that you almost saw him guide them to, but it was very much, we didn't get too much information on.
Yeah, it's one of those things I feel like had they known for sure they were going to get renewed for another season, it would have played differently.
Okay.
I think they went into this because with most shows, correct me if I'm wrong, by the time they're done filming the middle of their season, they there's like early renewals, or like at least they'll know there's a blase % chance that you're going to get renewed.
Right.
And so a lot of people weren't sure iZombie was going to get renewed because it's like it has a lot of clout, but at the same time, like CW has a lot of shows that are like big shows. So it's kind of like one of those that kind of falls just because there's so many big shows on that network. I feel like they kind of had to like, okay, quickly tie this up in a bow because this might be the final. And I feel like had they already known that there's going to be another season, the Angus thing would still be explored. I still kind of think that's not the end of it.
Well, at the same time, I also feel like too, because with a lot of shows, they don't necessarily know if they're going to have another season, but I would think that they would have different, they would kind of just
like
have different
prepared.
scenes.
I think what you're saying is we didn't get the payoff we were expecting because they led us to believe that this is going to be a big major plot line of development at the season finale.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm saying. But on top of that, I also believe that they have I feel like they
different
had,
endings and different
I think they had
different
different endings and different possibilities depending on what happened.
Right.
I don't think that there was just one ending. I'm sure they had different ones.
You're right, like different ways they were going to play it out.
But I am happy. I guess I'll be the unpopular opinion. I'm happy that Angus is gone, though I love Angus, but only because of Blaine's daddy issues. And even when Blaine opened up to his father, because like I said, he has major daddy issues, and it just shows you the type of father that he really is and really was. And I just didn't see it being dragged out to if it was the next season, I don't see Angus' storyline being dragged out to the next season. I do see Blaine probably taking over what his dad started, or trying to, because he always wants to be in control of something, but I just didn't see Angus coming back.
I agree with that. I think that the Angus storyline doesn't take away from Blaine, but I think it in a way kind of does, because like Blaine was almost like a sub character in his own storyline, which I didn't really like that much because I love Blaine, even though I do love Angus. But I think even though it wasn't the most like climactic ending we could have had, I think they did a great job of leaving a lot of possibilities for what could happen next. And I think the fruits of Angus's labor have still kind of like, because people got out, like zombies did get out of Seattle. Yeah. So that essentially is still going to be something they're going to have to deal with.
That's true.
It's just that they don't have Angus's face on it anymore. Right. And they kind of left it open to where Blaine maybe could be the new face of that if he wanted, or
sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, finish your last thing.
I was gonna say, or even because he's in cahoots now with Fillmore Graves. Like, there's so many different possibilities that could happen now.
Well, my question for you guys is: was Blaine happy that his dad was gone, or is he upset that his dad is now gone? Because it seemed to me
he's
that
sad.
he's sad.
For sure.
And because he was thinking that he's like, I led him to his death, basically.
Yeah, and I think they were getting close. Like, even though it's a very weird relationship and his dad was super abusive, I think even though his father was Jim Jones hypnotized and was doing this whole Jonestown thing, for those who don't know what it is, shout out to Nakia Monet. She also mentioned it in the chat. I think this was a way of them bonding, even though it was completely weird and different. They had a father-son moment. So I think he was, and when he opened up with his dad and he was like, Dad, I'm trying to actually save your life, I think he was really genuinely sad.
Right, because he realized that he's the
one that drove him,
putting the stuff into his head.
He was
and just like you guys have mentioned earlier in the season, he's tried to kill his dad, quote unquote, every time, but he doesn't actually go through with it.
Yeah.
And so I think that this was something where he didn't even realize what he was doing. Like, his actions, he wasn't aware of how much they could really affect his dad. And I think that was a really trying, hard thing to...
I think we should just hang on to what you're saying, because Blaine has a heart, a little bit. It's in there.
Yeah,
it's in there.
It is
we
in there.
see it. So
well, I think this is what's going to be exciting, is that now that he is working with Fillmore Graves, is going to see, is he going to be fully good, or is he going to be doing crime on the side?
I don't think Blaine can ever be fully good.
Right.
I think we wouldn't like Blaine if he was completely good. I think a lot of his charm goes into the fact that he often hangs out in this gray area. And so I don't want to see him like fully good. He reminds me of, for the older people, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He reminds me of Spike a little bit, where you're like, it's almost weird when you're a good guy. I want you to stay in this gray area where we're not sure if you're going to do the right thing or not do the right thing. I think those are always some of the best characters. Hook from Once Upon a Time for a long time was that.
And then you loved him at the end. You're like, no!
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he will be good with the whole Fillmore Graves live side of it. But I do think he'll still do like shady business on the side with like other people. But I think he will definitely work. Because I mean, this is not Blaine from season 1 where he was literally crazy and trying to kill everyone and trying to kill Liv. I think he will definitely do their thing, but he has an ulterior motive as always. Trying to get more money.
Right.
Exactly.
But we love Blaine.
I also think that this could actually allow Blaine's character to find a sense of redemption next season and to actually like right the wrongs that he's done in a way, depending on how they're gonna loop things together. Because I think that him realizing the actions that he had that led his dad to do those things, I think is going to be a wake-up call for him. And it kind of seems like that's what he was doing with that, with the girl doing the random, like, basically roulette shooting him. Yeah. I think he's kind of like, what else do I have to live for now if I've lost the one person that I thought could only love me? You know what I mean? So maybe actually this could open a love story for him.
I like that idea. I can totally see that.
Just leave Peyton out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Let Robbie and Peyton live.
Did we ever talk about like when the zombies are shot? I know that if they're shot in the head, right, they die, but
I think every place else they're fine because like Major's been shot,
right?
Jordan,
yeah,
like, they've been shot. I think once you're shot in the head, I think
isn't it the head or the heart?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
I think that's what
or
it is.
Or if your head is smashed.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I knew that, but I wasn't sure about them being shot in the head.
Real quick.
God, is that you?
Yes. Hey, it's Anthony here in the booth. I can kind of talk on zombies. I've seen a lot of movies. I don't know pertaining to this show particularly, but usually when you destroy the brain, that's the end all be all. Not the heart. The heart doesn't matter.
The heart's vampires.
Oh, that's right. It is. Sorry, I've watched too many vampire and zombie shows. Clearly,
because their blood stops pumping once they're dead.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. That's our wonderful engineer in the booth. Let's get into Clive and Dale and like a little bit of Fillmore Graves, really quick. Clive and Dale.
So okay, I'm fake. So I'll admit that. Okay, I was actually really. I cried a little bit when Liv.
Oh my gosh,
I knew it. I was like, she's gonna give Dale the brain, and now I'm like, I love them together. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. I'm so happy they're together. I'm so fake. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But I like them together now.
But I will say I had a feeling that they didn't have sex. I knew that our guy Clive was not going to turn into, I was going to say a vampire, a zombie. I knew that the show was going to try to drag it out somewhere. I mean, though we didn't get the resolution with Michelle, poor Michelle. Hopefully she comes back next season.
That is exactly what I
She's still waiting for her date.
I was wondering about Michelle. Like, they just totally
maybe Michelle and Blaine.
Ooh, okay.
I'm throwing characters together.
We just want everybody to ship and do it.
Like, Michelle can't just disappear like that.
Poor Michelle.
Live in Michelle.
But I'm here for
I
Dale.
miss her.
She's still like waiting on the bus.
She's gonna come back and like kill everyone.
She's like, he's late for dinner.
Yeah, she's still outside waiting for
She's
Clive.
gonna be crazy.
First of all, I said last week that I didn't think Clive was gonna. So I didn't think Clive was gonna.
You've been saying he is not gonna be a zombie
because we can't have everyone.
Too many zombies.
Yeah, he just couldn't go, and so I am really glad that she was able to get. That was like the most beautiful.
It was
thing.
so gorgeous.
I was bawling my eyes out. Their vows were really cute. They're like kinky, and I was like,
You want me
yes.
to spank you later? I'm like, I need those for my wedding.
I know. I was like, dang, my friends are lame with their vows. These are awesome. No, but I'm really now that like she's human, I'm like I'm cool with them.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike her.
It was just the push and pull that was frustrating.
It was just like he's gone through so. I feel like Clive always kind of gets the short end of the stick, and I didn't want him to have to compromise any more than he's already had to. And I felt like we've seen the more emotional parts of Clive that we've seen have been like with children or anything that pertains to fatherhood, and I just didn't want him to have to give that up.
Yeah, I'm happy they're together, but I was like, homeboy's not gonna turn into a zombie.
Facts.
They're gonna wait, and I like that how they waited. So I think what Liv did was like the most beautiful self-esteem that anyone can do, and I think also like next season she is gonna probably be a new Liv where like she's also trying to figure herself out, and she lost another boyfriend. Can she still be? You know what I'm saying? I think she's gonna be figuring things out. So I love that she was able to like help Clive.
Totally.
Yeah. It makes me also wonder too is with the cure. Like I don't know if it's just dead now. Or
well, that's what I actually wanted to ask you guys, just so we can clear that up. So the brain that she was eating was not. Izzy's brain.
It was Isabel's brain, the one she gave Dale.
Yeah.
I thought that, okay, this is what I was thinking. Maybe you guys can help me clear it up. And for those that might be as confused as well. So I thought that Ravi injected the brain with a portion of what he got from Isabel's brain.
Yes.
And then that brain was just a random one that he injected
I don't think so because they acted like this was the only
one.
Right.
one. I think it was Isabel's brain. I don't think it's going to require as much as they think it is. I think he at least took a sliver of it or something to test on more because if it really required the whole brain, the rat already had some of the brain. So I don't think it...
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
I think he could...
He did say it required the whole brain to eat it, but that's why I was thinking he was taking whatever stem cells and he was making his own, even though he said there's not a mass distribution of this. But yeah, it is confusing. There are folks in the chat that's saying that was just Isabel's brain, so I think you guys
and it was
are
only
right.
for one. It was only able to cure Dale because it's not like Liv and Dale could have split it. So.
Right.
Which I wonder how he knew that only one person
Right.
could take it.
Did the other rat die? So many questions.
No. Yeah, so many questions. But I think that's obviously the cure is not going anywhere.
Oh, okay, well, good.
Definitely, yeah. They're gonna find a cure. I feel like, and that's kind of. I feel like
I
how
hope
we'll wrap
that's
it up.
how it goes out as a series premiere.
That would
the show
be
goes out with a
phenom.
cure, and everyone is like, "Kumbaya."
I cannot wait to get into it. But you know, what we need to talk about, guys, is this whole Chase Graves getting killed, and then Major
Good.
becoming the captain and commander.
Who predicted that? Was it you? Yeah.
Raising my hand.
You
here,
did call
Major?
that.
predicting that Chase and him. This is what I predicted. Major was going to have to choose the good side or the bad side. I said something's going to probably happen to Chase, and Major is going to take over to kind of redeem himself.
Yeah.
And he's going to want to do the right thing because I think he realized all the bad things he was doing. He's like, maybe I can make this up.
Well,
I can
this is what I'm confused. This is what I was a little confused about, though. Is forgive me because I'm forgetting his name. Chase Graves, like wingman, the one that taped Major saying.
Oh, Hobbs, right?
Yeah, Hobbs. So remember, he recorded Major saying that he was asking him, "Would you want to become?" And then he told Chase he's not on your side. So where's Hobbs lie? I feel like Hobbs.
Do you remember at the end when Justin asked Major, "So what are we gonna do about Hobbs?" And then I think he was saying like if they should freeze him or whatnot. But then when Hobbs is the one that brought in Blaine and
right.
Donnie, yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
it kind of left me like, okay, so what's gonna happen? Because
Right.
obviously we know that Major knows that he was somewhat played. But then I feel like Hobbs kind of playing both sides, kind of like the French dude. So
Yeah.
I'm just.
I feel like Hobbs is like a pay for play. Like you pay him for his loyalty. He's gonna go to the highest bidder. I don't think there's necessarily any like real. I mean, I think he's just gonna go wherever he can get in the highest power. And I think if he can screw over Major, he will. If that's gonna get him like to the next position. But as of right now, he is kind of like second in command. So it's like. You know,
Sure. I feel like him and the French guy might be some problems for
sketchy.
them next.
Yeah.
Like I think he's also going to be now in the middle. Like, ooh, which side do I play now?
The Chase.
Sorry.
The Chase like storyline is really interesting to me because I remember in the beginning of this season we really liked him, and then even when he was going through this, when he was going through stuff, we were just like. He in his mind thinks he's doing the best thing. He still has a good heart, and it's like it's very interesting how they played his character because he turned from someone who had the greatest intentions to someone who was just straight up wrong.
Right. He turned bonkers. And people are saying in the chat too. Ivan Soda said Chase went bananas. Literally. What's crazy too is to think about that trajectory too. From the start, he was thrown into this. And he was like, what do I do? And then he legitimately went the worst end of the spectrum you could possibly
I think
go
it
on.
also shows you, if you compare him and Major, you have two people who are given two situations who start out doing the right thing. Then they get thrown into this world where they kind of start doing the wrong thing. Then it's like, do you take the left path or you take the right path? And it's like Chase was so caught up and he wanted to be a leader. It's like he took the right path and went the wrong way. And I think that's why it's going to be a learning experience for Major, where Major's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shows you, like, wait, I can actually be pulled back and actually somewhat do the right thing. But I think Chase was just so caught up where he lost his mind.
Right.
Yeah.
He did. I think you're right.
He
I
had
think
to
he lost. He just lost his
had to
direction,
go.
and I think you're right. He just kind of got caught up in the mess of things. So.
And I'm glad that Liv was the one to kill him.
Wise.
I try, you know. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Maddie Fernandez said Rob Thomas, the creator of the show, said there are still Chase supporters at Fillmore Graves. That's probably going to affect Major at some point, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, there's some other folks in the chat mentioning about Mr. Boss. Where did he go? And I'm like, good on you guys. That is a great point, because that means that obviously we still have a crazy guy out there. And just because Blaine is now in Fillmore Graves helping out, being the good guy, doesn't mean we have someone else crazy out there figuring out whatever they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I was surprised that they brought back Johnny Frost. That would have been
Johnny
nice.
Frost, I love him.
They had to. He's such a second string, not even second string, that's too much. He's like a third string character, but he's one of those characters that like you just kind of love, because you're like, why are you so tragic all the time?
It's him and the guy that works at the police station.
Yes.
That does the
sketching.
Yeah.
And the Dungeons and Dragons guy.
Those are my two favorite, because it's like they're random and you're like, all right, something's off with you, but you love them both.
It's so true. Oh, guys, this season was so good, and I really can't believe that 10 weeks has gone by so quickly.
I know.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It is, especially with you ladies. But I want to do our last brain food segment of the day, which would happen to be our favorites of this season. So, Shawnteairra, we are going to start with you, so I hope you have your favorite brain food ready.
You better not take mine, because I said it before the show.
I know which one mine is.
Oh, mine just popped in my head. Okay.
Okay.
It's fine. You can have it if you want.
No. The only one I can think about is the first one that comes to my head is when she made the cupcakes. Is it like the cupcakes?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember. Wait, was I in here when you said that came late?
Yes, you were in here.
Yeah, you were in here.
Okay.
You stole Drew's. No,
It's
that's
okay. You can have it.
True,
You can
I'm
have it.
sorry. Because I'm like, what else would it be? Because I thought everything else was like.
Oh my gosh, no, it could be what was the
Spotted
London?
dick.
Yeah!
The spotted dick.
Wait, what?
That was the London food one. Okay.
Wait, you
Drew.
said the cupcakes? My bad, Drew.
No, it's
Sorry.
okay.
No, it was you go for it. You can say it again.
It was actually a cupcake in a mug.
Yeah.
And no, I really like that one. And then this one, it was such a weak food, but it was one of those that we had to think about for a minute besides the spotted dick. The wrap.
Oh,
The brain, because she was a rapper.
yeah.
And we were like, why did she make this weak rap? And then we're like, rapper.
I think Drew, you
writers.
knew.
That was good.
Oh, was it
go
you?
writers.
My favorite. No, it was Drew. 'Cause
Okay.
Literally, when the show was about to start, she's like, rapper.
Rapper.
I was like, I didn't get it. My favorite is the when she made the chocolate candies and she was really sexual and horny the whole damn time.
Wait.
I like that one.
That was mine.
Oh no, are you?
The chocolates?
Yeah.
The heart chocolates.
You didn't say this, so you can't do like Shawnteairra and Drew.
Hey, my
No,
bad.
I literally was thinking that.
Really, the heart chocolates when she was
Yeah,
like,
when
eating them,
they
she
were
was super
cute.
horny.
Not when she was horny. She was the.
Who was she? Oh, she was in
the
love.
She was in love.
Okay.
But also, fine.
I'll
I'll
pick
say the
another one.
martini.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that one was cute.
Because that
I'll
was
say that one.
when she was like the
old
mean
lady.
lady. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she was so funny on that brain.
So funny.
Let's see. We got some peeps in the chat. I asked them what was their funniest brains, what was their best ones. Danny Beauty Zone said funniest one was Ravi on White Girl. Most Paula's one was
Yes.
the pickup artist brain. Maddie Fernandez said the roasted brain from the Ren Fair episode. Ivan said raw brains are my favorite. He said, haha, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we all hate those ones. They give us the heebie-jeebies.
Yes. Sounds like a lot of people like Ravi on White Girl brain.
He was hilarious.
That's still my favorite episode.
Yeah,
that was funny.
amazing.
So good. Oh man, ladies. I guess we'll have to wait till next season. Hopefully there's still like fun little brain food segments.
They better
that
like
Yeah, I'm
go
sure.
hard
Yeah,
with them.
next season's the last season. Y'all better go hard.
They're
The
like,
writers
real
are probably like,
creative.
girl, bye.
Yeah,
They're like, little girl, stop.
Well, Shawnteairra has some amazing news and gossip for us with our favorite cast members. So why don't you take it away?
I love that. Thank you. So I didn't know that Raul was in a Heineken commercial. I saw it on Instagram. I was creeping.
He's so cute.
I love him. He is so funny. I live for his tweets. So if you guys don't follow him, make sure you guys do.
Fine. What? Who said that?
Wait, say it one more time. He's what?
He is Fine.
Raul is fine.
I want Ally to say it from now on always.
Fine.
Fine.
Nasty. Say that one.
You're nasty.
You're nasty. Guys, we were talking about how much we love That's a Raven beforehand.
It's very iZombie vibe.
Yeah, with the visions.
Yeah, nasty. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, we're nuts.
And then, so I actually didn't listen to it, but he was also on Solo Sucks. It's a movie podcast. So talking about Raul, and I guess on that episode they were talking about Star Wars and stuff. So I know he's like a nerd in a sense.
I love
He
me a nerd.
Yeah.
Look, girl, me too.
Ooh,
Love them.
child.
So yeah, so
Come on, nerds.
definitely check that out. It's on YouTube. So that's all I have for Raul. Next, Malcolm. I know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, the Be the Light movie. He's been really promoting that, and I'm super excited to see. I love him, so I'm excited to
he's
see
so
what he's gonna be
cute.
doing.
Yeah.
Since we're gonna have like a year for the next.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I read that it's sometime next year because usually
Yeah.
it's yearly. But super excited about that because I know I talked about it before, but it's gonna be on Netflix. Be the Light movie. Oh, I was kind of disappointed. So, Rose, who you guys know played Liv, she was rooting for the Cavs.
Hey.
She's a LeBron fan, and so I'm from the Bay Area, so I just was
Oh.
I
If you guys are
was
listening, you should have just seen Drew's face.
so I'm like Bay Area all day. I'm just a
mean-
Bay Area fan. So Steph Curry Warriors. Sorry about it, Liv. So
I'm a Cavs fan. That's
oh look.
LeBron all day, the king.
LeBron
Well-
James.
I miss mine in the
Well, I'll be a
internet.
Lone Ranger here. I'm gonna hold it down for the Bay Areans. But yeah, Rose is a LeBron fan, so I don't know.
Knew I liked her.
I question her now. And then last but not least, Ally and AJ have a new single that's coming out.
Potential breakup song
called-
part 2.
It's called Good Love. It's out June 15th, so make sure you guys
Same thing.
check that out. I got titles, so hope I can see it catch it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to follow up with that, the Promise Tour starts June 30th.
Guys, are we getting our tickets?
June 30th.
We gotta go.
So
We
it
gotta
starts
go.
off in SF and then it ends July 6th in Chicago. So she's going to Boston, Denver, Houston.
Dang.
They're going to be all over. So make
Road
sure you guys get them
trip.
tickets. They're super cheap. I think I told you guys last time they're like $25.
Oh, let's
or
go
something.
support our girl.
let's
Ally.
go.
Yeah. So I'm down the Promise Tour.
See, they're saying it to be cute, but I'm being
No,
dead
I'm
serious.
not kidding.
I'm gonna be like Ticketmaster.
I all saw cowbells.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we are true fans. And Phil in the
Oscar
future,
worthy.
I remember.
Phil in the future for sure.
Run that Emmy.
Potential breakup song.
Oh, that was such a good one.
That's fed my spirit.
And they have a good Christmas song, too.
They do.
They do. Oh, man, I love
Yeah,
it
that's
so
all I
much.
got for y'all.
Thanks, Shawnteairra. I love this news and gossip every week with our favorite stars. And you know who else we love? You guys. We are so thankful for all of you guys that listen, comment, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on iTunes podcast. We love you all, and we want to shout out a special person that was in the chat. Nakia, would you mind doing the honors?
Yes, so since this is the last episode, I think I'm going to shout out a few people.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So special shout out to Ronald Edwards, Ivan Soto, Connor Not Your Business. I love how you got that. Our girl Nakia Emmanuel, Alexander Taylor, Maddie Fernandez. I feel like a rapper. Let's see what we got. And Jacob Albers. Thank you guys. I think I said Maddie Fernandez. Thank you guys for always being in the chat. You guys are some of our regulars. Thank you guys for chiming in, giving your opinions. We go at it. We may not agree, but we do appreciate all of you guys.
Yes. And stick
Thank
around.
you. Thank you. That's what I wanted.
Oh my god.
More fire.
Oh my gosh, we love you guys so much. We're so thankful. It makes it fun for us to join the chat and join with you guys every week because we're talking about our favorite show and it doesn't really get much better than this.
Facts.
So we appreciate you. But before we leave today, ladies, let's do our predictions for season 5, the final season of iZombie.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I love
I'll
these
see Drew in
ladies,
literally
by the
2
way.
minutes.
I know. I have 2 shows with me.
I love you guys so much.
Okay.
Shawnteairra.
I thought long and hard about this. I got a couple. So I think Clive and Dale, I think they're gonna have a baby.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
just start off with that. I do believe that Liv and Major are gonna end up together. Although I still feel like I want them to be zombies. I don't know. I just do. But I think they'll probably be humans. And then I think Blaine is gonna end up with Peyton. I said it. Bye.
Oh.
I'm not gonna need to just leave.
You said bye.
Let us know.
Drew, what are you?
Okay. I think next season is going to circle around it being a big showdown between like Zombie City and the U.S. government. So I think that's going to be the big like plot line, or the big bad is going to be the government. So interesting. And then I still kind of stand by my, I don't think Liv and Major are going to get together right away, but I would be okay with the show ending like where they're kind of rekindling that. But I don't really want to see a big like love storyline for her next season, because I just want her to continue to. Yes. It would be weird. She just lost another.
I know, it's a lot.
Bae, like she
needs time to herself.
She needs like
closure.
And y'all can fight me on that.
That's why I started laughing. I was like, they're gonna have to type.
So bye.
She needs to heal.
What's up? What y'all gonna do about it?
Nakia Manuel asks, was that really Paul Rudd? Because we love Paul Rudd.
Yeah. I love Paul Rudd. I got so
We need to look
excited.
at the credits. We need to look at the
Yeah,
credits.
because we love Paul Rudd.
That wouldn't surprise me. Paul Rudd's
Wait.
weird like that.
He's babe.
I'm gonna
I
look
saw
this
that.
up.
But
Well, you
that
guys
was okay, go ahead.
No, I was
Sorry.
gonna say while they look that up, I predict next season. I think Blaine is going to be caught in the middle of trying to like. Again, I said he has daddy issues, so I think he was really devastated when his father died. But I do think he's gonna either try to change for the better because his dad was preaching all that God stuff. But I do think like Mr. Boss is still out there. Someone mentioned in the chat General Mills' daughter's out there, so I think he may have a few obstacles in the way. I do think Dale and Clive are going to have a little baby.
Yes.
I do see Peyton and Ravi together, and I think this season is going to be live on a journey. I don't know if she's gonna. I think she's gonna be conflicted of should I still be renegade? Should I just chill out? Should I be by myself? And I do see at the end of her and Major probably rekindling, but I would love to see Drake randomly just come back from the dead. I don't know. I'm saying Drake.
I would love to see Drake
He
again.
fine.
I'll take Levon and his smushed head back.
Ooh, yes.
Just like I hanging out.
We can make it work, Levi.
We can make piece it together, honey.
Put a bag on. We're good.
I miss everybody. They live.
Polyamorous relationship where she's just with all
Shout
of them.
out. People in the chat, a lot of people miss Lowell, one of her other boos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she was the first one.
It's a lot of.
First one.
Liv's been through a lot.
She has.
Yeah, she has. My predictions, I'm going to keep it sweet and simple, is that I think they're going to find a cure.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm just going to leave it at that because I think that that has to be the way that they tie things together. And Robbie hasn't been working this hard for nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, let's not forget he's been working his butt off to get this kind of fixed. So I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Every time I hear y'all predictions, I want to change mine.
I know. I do the same thing.
Hey, we have a whole year to sit on this.
Whole year to think about it.
And with that being said, ladies, it is time for us to sign off one last time until
Oh
next
my
season.
gosh.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Shawnteairra, where can they find you on social media?
On Instagram and Twitter at Shawnteairra.
Drew Jones.
And you guys can find me on all the things at OK Drew J.
Nakia Monet.
I just want to say I was never really into a show like this, but I binge watched it and now I'm obsessed. So thank everybody. Thank you guys. You guys can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
And hey guys, Ally Nasta here. You can find me on Instagram at Ally Girl. And hey, we love you guys. We'll see you next season. Bye.
Bye. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, stop, da, da, da. Ooh, I'm already dead.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 I am already dead.
If I didn't just embarrass
That's
myself.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.